Hello everyone, welcome back to Barcast TV. Today we have another high-level 1v1 match between two of our top players. This game was actually taken from Game 1 of the Alpha Cup Championship number 3 finals. So this is Game 1 in the finals between Teddy and MightySheep, and let's get into the video. So I'll unpause the game. And while these players, start their opening build orders, we'll take a look at that in a second. I just want to say thanks for everyone who's been commenting and subscribing and liking the videos. It really helps the channel, and I really appreciate it, so thank you for that. So we're smapping the pool. MightySheep's asking. It's kind of a funny thing to ask in the finals of a tournament. So let's introduce the map, perhaps, and take a look at these players' opening build orders. So this is Comet Cather. And this is an 8v8 map, so it makes for a pretty good 1v1 macro map, I'd say. Definitely a lot of space, a lot of mexes. There's a lot of terrain to maneuver around, and this should be a great game. So thanks to everyone who voted in that poll I released. Really some great feedback I got, and we'll definitely be moving the channel in the direction of your all's comments. So thank you for that. Looks like most of you wanted to see some team games and high-level 1v1 replays, so I'll definitely keep those coming for y'all, and continue to come up with some new ideas for the channel and see, run it by y'all. So see how you like it. Let's take a look at the player views and see these opening build orders. Of course, this is a no-wind map, so we have these solar collectors produced for both players. And Teddy did a little walk, so he just capped these two mexes, walked over to this third mex here, and started his bot lab. So see a lot of high-level players doing this, just capping 3 mexes before their factory. I thought it was a little slow, but it kind of makes sense. It gives you so much more mass in the bank to continue using your commander's build power to increase your economy. So I think I might start doing this in my own play. Definitely an adjustment, though. I've been opening up 2 mexes. Let's take a look at his opponent, MightySheep. Did the same thing, actually, but the little variation here. He went up with this light laser tower after a solar collector. So he does the 2 mexes, solar collector, light laser tower. Does a little walk with his commander, caps the mex. I think he adds another solar collector on, and then goes for bot lab into radar. So already has his radar up. Doesn't want to take any chances here in the finals. This is game 1 in the final best of 5 between them. So pretty cool to see. I don't know if I'll cast all the matches from this final. I know Winter actually did that. The final match, Game 5, spoiler, this series goes to Game 5, but I don't want to, cast things that people have already casted. So, plus it's an hour-long game. You guys can go watch his channel, Winter Gaming's channel, if you want to see that last game. Shout out to Winter for creating those videos. Really helps the channel grow. So let's get into this game here. We see Teddy's already has some grunts moving across the map. So MightySheep's going to intercept this one here. Able to see that on his radar coverage. Take a look at his player view as he sees these run-bys coming to the map. Comes onto his side of the map. Doesn't see that little run-by on the right side, so definitely just trying to protect his expanding engineers. Finally he's able to catch this little run-by on the right side. And let's take a look at Teddy's main base. Already has 3 expanding engineers, so 4 expanding engineers. Going to be adding on solar collectors with this 4th engineer, and is still adding on power with his commander, so really emphasizing that power production here as he gets into the early game. And he's just going to be making a lot of grunts, so looks like he only wants these 4 engineers, construction bots rather, and then is just going to be going into heavy bot production. Meanwhile, his opponent, MightySheep, has pretty comparable open, 3 expanding engineers. I think he forego that. Oh, sorry, 4. I see this one up here on the top side of the map. And looks like it's pushing a little more towards the center. We have a small engagement here in the middle, grunt versus grunt. Looks like Teddy's going to lose 2 of these grunts. That was a nice micro here by MightySheep, moving those damage grunts back and takes out that little run by. So pretty good move. So you have more grunts moving towards the center of the map for both players. Definitely want to contest the center of the board here. And these kind of maps really helps you. I mean, we all know securing the middle of the board is kind of where you want to be. You can rotate around both sides. Gives you access to better movement around the map and a better economy, of course. There's definitely a bunch of mexes here in the middle of the map, so we'll see how that plays into this game as it develops. Looks like Teddy's adding on another construction bot. I think he's just using this as an expanding engineer. Perhaps. No, he's going to be adding on a construction turret, so try to get that build power in the main base. You can look at his opponent. MightySheep just still standing in the main base with his commander, just assisting this factory using his build power, and has more grunts queued up, so definitely what we see, you know, core versus core, just these grunt versus grunt battles. See a nice little run by here, picking off this construction bot. That's a great move. Just 2 grunts sneak in there, take that construction bot out. I think he might have taken out the radar, but that's a nice pick off to slow down this expansion into the center of the board. So good job, Teddy. See a run by here by MightySheep on the right side. Looks like he's going to get intercepted by Teddy, so we can see who got the first shot off. Do units actually trade? No? Okay, so Teddy wins that little engagement. So low health. Well, one thing I noticed from pretty much all of those from the quarterfinals on is how great these players are at harassing and defending attacks. So, and of course, I harper in this a lot. It just comes down to all these great radar placements. Look at these 2 forward radars from Teddy. So, sees a lot of the board. Knows exactly what's going on. MightySheep really just has this 1 forward radar here and the one in his main base. So, not as great radar coverage, but still good enough to protect your expanding engineers and defend against these run-bys. See Teddy trying to clean up this run-by on the right side. We have decent amount of corpses here, and that's going to trigger him to make this res bot. So already got the first res bot on the board here. It's great to see there's so much value, and we have a little run-by here. I think he's going to pick off, MightySheep's going to pick off a couple mexes on the top right side of the board. So good job sneaking past, getting ahead of your opponent. He's going to get a couple mexes for free, and he might even get this expanding engineer if he can find it. Meanwhile, MightySheep's side of the board, no run-bys, just expanding, trying to take as much of the map as he can. And still a couple more run-bys here going on. We have mexes going down. That's 4 mexes so far. Looks like a 5th one's going to go down. This grunt on the right side might get cleaned up for sure. The grunt on the left side will. Let's see if he's able to get that shot off. Yes. Another great pick-off. Picks off that radar and another mech. So 2 grunts doing so much damage. That's great value. Looks like MightySheep has this construction bot a little isolated on the board. I'm wondering if Teddy's going to be able to hunt that down. And still these run-bys are getting damage. This is great damage here by MightySheep. Just picking off mexes. Getting his opponent's face, you know, forcing him to multitask, forcing him to deal with this kind of harassment. And we see a engagement here on the left side of the board. Looks like Teddy's stepping forward. He's trying to get damage of his own. Almost takes out this construction bot. That's so little health. 3% health. Wow. So, nice move. Trying to get some counter damage done. See MightySheep poking again with these just small groups of grunts. You don't want to commit your entire army to an attack, to a run-by. You just want to sneak in, find where the weaknesses are. You know, these forward engineers that don't have LLTs built yet. These isolated mexes that are, you know, undefended. And really the idea is just to get ahead of your opponent. So, see a tank on the board, and it's probably a good time as ever to look at the main bases of both players. We see Teddy. 3 construction turrets up, a lot of solar collectors, and has moved on to a vehicle plant. So, got that 2 factory production. It's pretty natural, you see, as, you know, we enter the mid-game. We can take a look at his opponent, MightySheep. Also moved on to a vehicle plant and is building his 3rd construction turret. So, pretty comparable play. Both players moving to that 2 factories, and we see MightySheep's ahead on mass income. They got 43 to 34 respectively. You can take a look at the statistics. MightySheep up just a little bit right here. Not too bad, you know, 8 minutes into the game, but definitely going to give the advantage to MightySheep. He's got a little more of the board, seems like. But we have more tanks out for Teddy, so let's see how he's able to leverage this tank advantage for now. I don't see any tanks on the board for MightySheep except for this one right here. So we'll take a look at how Teddy's able to leverage his tanks at this point in the game. Takes out 1 construction bot, so that goes down. He's trying to stop this forward expansion into the center of the board. We have a run by here on the right side by MightySheep, still doing damage, but I want to take a look at how much damage these tanks are able to do. 2 versus 5 right now. We have more grunts for Teddy on MightySheep's side of the board, so he's going to take out a mex, take out another mex. He's still, you know, moving north. Wants to shave off these outer expansions without diving too far towards his opponent's production and commander. I don't think Teddy knows where MightySheep's commander is at, but it's probably safe to assume somewhere in the main base. Takes out another construction bot, 2 more mexes, so great damage. It's like on Teddy's side of the board, Mighty Sheep found another run by, so such a low health grunt goes down. Not before taking out a couple mexes though, so great counter damage. While this battle in the center is going on, just finding a run by with a single grunt. Look at this radar position, so good. I mean, that's just great radar positioning from Mighty Sheep. You can see he's got one here on the top side of the board, providing cover to this lane here on the north side. He's got the southern one, and I think one in the middle went down. No, he has this one in the back. So great radar positioning from Mighty Sheep. Teddy has his own radars up, so looks like he's got a little bit of a run by here going into this north left side of the board, and Mighty Sheep has a run by on the right side. So take a look at this. We have more tanks over here, more grunts. He's able to run past his opponent's army, and I think he turns around, notices a couple of LLTs. He doesn't want to fight into those with his little run by here. Meanwhile, there's an engagement on the south side of the board. Teddy everywhere at once, going up against this exploder armed metal extractor. Takes out a couple of units, and he's going to be taking out this metal extractor. That's a pretty good defense there. Defending your mexes as they get farther and farther onto the board. And still, we have more run-bys by Mighty Sheep taking off mexes on the right side of the board, so the aim of the game is getting ahead of your opponent's units. And here on the top left side, we have Teddy. He's able to clean up that little forward installation, takes out the radar, 2 LLTs, 2 mexes, so great job trading units for economy. That's what you want to do in these RTS games. And still, we have Teddy is kind of creeping into the center of the board. Looks like he's getting a little more map control right now. He's got more units on his opponent's side of the board, harassing, taking engagements. I don't think he wants to run into these 3 LLTs. We'll see if he chooses to. We got 4 tanks versus 3 LLTs. Not sure how this is going to handle, and yeah, they just tickle these tanks, so these LLTs are going to go down the radar, 2 mexes, so still getting great damage here. See Mighty Sheep pushing into the middle with his tanks of his own. It's going to force Teddy to respond and, move with him. Almost got ahead of his opponent there for a second, Teddy. And we have these res bots in tow, so great job using those. Still this run by on the left side doing damage. Mighty Sheep going to bring his commander down, try and take out these units. D-guns the tank and takes out the one in the rear, so good job cleaning up those units. See a run by heading to the north side of the map and a little engagement in the middle, so both players are posturing in the middle. They have tanks, got grunts. Looks like Mighty Sheep has ended his grunt production. But we still have some on the board for Teddy. I really like these Tech 1 armies. You have the grunts and these medium tanks, so makes for a good combo. These tanks suck up the damage while the grunts deal it, so good job. We have one single tank here, one low health tank is able to sneak past this. Can he get this engineer? I don't think so. So close. Just goes down. Wow, great trade. And we have an engagement here in the middle of the map, but I don't know if Teddy wants to take this. We have so many grave robbers for Mighty Sheep right behind it, so I know Teddy doesn't know that, but you don't want to leave a big reclaim field for your opponent right when he has grave robbers in tow. So you see both players kind of moving south with their armies. They don't want to take a direct engagement. I think Mighty Sheep's just trying to get ahead of his opponent. Trying to get ahead of and around him. Meanwhile, we have a run by on the bottom side of the board. Takes out a radar. Takes out another mex. I'm sure that construction bot's going to go down, but meanwhile, Teddy's almost surrounded his opponent. Almost encircle him. We have these grunts that can they're faster than the tank, so he can get ahead of this army and move south and kind of cut off its retreat. But yeah, this is a great engagement from Teddy, pushing his opponent back out of the middle, concentrating his army, and proper battle here. Tank versus tank battle in the middle. I think I want to give the advantage to Teddy. He's got more grunts in this army, more tanks concentrated, and this is not how you want to fight. You need your units clumped together so they're all firing at once, shaving off your opponent's army. But yeah, Teddy thinks he's got the advantage and he's going to push. And we even have shurikens coming onto the battlefield, so this is going to swing the battle even more into his favor. So see Teddy, Mighty Sheep has got a nice little clump of tanks right here, but Teddy is moving past and surrounding him, so these tanks are taking those extra flanking damage. And meanwhile, Teddy has gone onto his air factory, so it looks like he's still on this 3-factor production. Love this main base setup. You can see how there's uninterrupted flow from these factories. You can take a look at this battle, and the main base of Mighty Sheep still on the... no, he's moved on to air factory of his own, so trying to get these fighters out, trying to get rid of these shurikens. It's a great counterplay. So air superiority going to Mighty Sheep for now. I don't see any fighters on the board for Teddy. And he's got to be careful. Meanwhile, we have these shurikens trying to catch this run by on the right side. I didn't catch it so far. MightySheep moving some grunts, doing some great damage, clearing out that northern expansion. But really, the battle is in the middle. We have such a big reclaim field here right now. And Teddy's getting awfully close to the main base of MightySheep. So looks like he's not going to dive. He just wants to shave off all these units in the middle. He's taking out LLTs, taking out this northern middle expansion. Meanwhile, on the south side of the board, MightySheep is pushed very far forward and is securing this bottom side of the map with its commander. So just adding on power there. Pretty isolated, vulnerable commander. And looks like Teddy is kind of retreating. I think he just wants to regroup his army. No, he's going to get on top of this reclaim field. He wants to deny that from his opponent. And this is a great run by MightySheep, taking out all these mexes on the top side of the board and the right side and moving past. Doesn't want to dive into the main base and lose those units for free. He wants to shave off, continuing to shave off economy. And still we have this tank battle in the middle of the board that I think Teddy is winning, actually. He's got more tanks, he's got more grunts in the middle, and that's going to prevent MightySheep from rezzing these units. Looks like he's not reclaiming, he's trying to res them. Not sure where his economy's at. He's got 3,000 mass in the bank. Wow, MightySheep has got a full resource bar. That's not where you want to be. You need that mass on the board. I think that's going to end up costing him the game. His opponent is about half mass right now, and see so many shurikens on the battlefield, paralyzing this army. And grave robbers in tow for Teddy. And see, he's not wasting time resing these units. He just wants to reclaim, wants to deny that for his opponent. Getting that reclaim is way faster than resing the units, and we have so many tanks here in the middle, and he's getting awfully close to the main base of MightySheep. I think this might be this game-winning push. Let's take a look. We have two of these twin guard laser towers supporting his factory's production. Desperately trying to make more. You have two more going up, so 3 twin guard turrets, a 4th one making with this build power. And I think that's going to shoo away Teddy for now. He doesn't want to take this engagement into the defender's advantage of MightySheep. He doesn't want to leave that reclaim right at his opponent's doorstep. Instead, he decides to pull off some units in his army. He wants to shave off this bottom expansion on the board here, and does just that. It's taking out one exploiter, taking out a couple mexes. Wonder if he can find this radar. But still, the battle's in the middle. Teddy thinks he's got enough. He's pressing even farther forward, moving into these twin guard turrets. Look how many tanks he has. Such a great line here. Inches forward just a little bit. Looks like this reclaim field is pretty much gone. These grave robbers doing a great job. MightySheep can't macro on this map. Almost got a full resource bar. No windmills. And that's it. Calls GG or taps out. So he's gonna resign to the game, resign the match, and quit the game. That was pretty interesting. Great job winning game 1 by Teddy. It's a good way to get an advantage over your opponent. And looks like, I'm not sure what was the deciding factor in that. I think he had more tanks earlier on and was able to contest this middle. Both players were doing a really good job of using run buys, so I'm not really sure what was the deciding factor in this game. I'll have to take a look back and study it. Looks like he was able to macro better. We know that MightySheep had a full resource bar at one time, and look at all this build power. 3 factories, 9 construction turrets assisting him. He already has these thistles up, so great job, Teddy, winning this game. And I hope you all enjoyed watching this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.